This is your Weather Extreme video for Saturday, May the 26th, part of Memorial Day weekend. I'm meteorologist Brian Peters, and let's take a look at our Skycam network. There's a shot from where I'm located this morning up at Mount Cheaha, or Cheaha State Park, actually, and just a beautiful sunrise shot from there with clear skies and a beautiful cool morning. Well, we're dealing with a couple of weather systems. For us, we're dealing with both Tropical Storm Burl and high pressure over the southeastern U.S., the high responsible for some heat, and Burl possibly for some clouds and some rain over the southeastern U.S. for the next couple of days. But for Alabama, I'm not so sure. There's a look at the upper air pattern, and you can see the upper ridge very strong over the lower Mississippi River Valley with the 588 contour extending all the way up to near the Great Lakes. And there's the reflection of Burl, who is now moving to the southwest, but we'll have that in just a moment. There's a look, too, at our sounding from Shelby County Airport for central Alabama this morning. Actually, this sounding is from last night, but you can see how dry it is aloft, and so we are not seeing much in the way of showers. Temperatures this morning, very pleasant in the generally mid and upper 60s across the area, and just a tad cooler up here at Mount Cheaha, fortunately. There's the QPF, and as you would expect, a good deal of rain forecast in association with Tropical Storm Beryl. And so we'll be updating that as time goes on. But for us, you can see that the rainfall is still quite marginal for us over the next 5 days. There's a look at the Storm Prediction Center's outlook for day one, and slight risk over a large part of the upper Midwest and down into the Texas and Oklahoma panhandles. And then day two, that slight risk almost in the same area, extending from Wisconsin across Iowa and down into the Oklahoma panhandle. And of course, then C-Tex down in the southeastern U.S. in association with Beryl. Day three, you can see once again slight risk as it moves generally to the east into the Great Lakes area. All right, there's the satellite image of Beryl. Beryl's begun to get its act together pretty much. Still just a tropical storm and not expected to be much more than a tropical storm, but certainly going to give a wet Memorial Day weekend to the southeastern coast of the U.S. There's the National Hurricane Center's official track. Keeps it a tropical storm until it makes landfall in the vicinity of Jacksonville. Then it becomes a depression and then once again moves back out to sea in the vicinity of Savannah. And then becomes a tropical storm once again as it gets out near the Outer Banks of North Carolina. So the question is going to be how far west Beryl will come, and the influence on Alabama looks like it's going to be minimal, primarily in the extreme eastern sections and perhaps southeastern sections of the state. The rest of us staying pretty much dry as we're on the western side of that. All right, this is the 06Z GFS model run. We'll intersperse a few of the European models in there, but there's the upper air chart, and of course the two things we're dealing with are the upper ridge for us for the heat, today being one of the warmest days of 2012, and then the reflection of Beryl off the southeast coast. Of course, we're also dealing with a very deep trough over the west coast of the United States and the Rocky Mountains. For Sunday, we see not much changes out west. That closed low is ejecting out, and of course that's responsible for the outlook for severe weather. But we see Beryl coming into the vicinity of Jacksonville in the upper air reflection. There's Monday, and this is when Beryl really gets ashore. You can see the upper air reflection, and then at the surface you see the surface low, according to the GFS, in the vicinity of Tallahassee or so, maybe even getting into the Gulf. The European, in pretty good agreement. The two are not too far apart, and that's good. I mean, the fact that they're a few miles apart is not just a big factor here. But of course, the European showing the storm a little more to the northwest of Jacksonville than over towards Tallahassee, but still, once again, the confidence good that is the general trend, and of course, I think the GFS actually brings it a little further west than the other models. When we get to Tuesday, we can see once again the upper air reflection, and we're seeing a front come across the central plain state, and that front reflected at the surface with a band of rain extending from the area of the eastern Great Lakes down across and into Oklahoma, and of course rain over the southeastern U.S. and us under a chance of showers. And once again, the surface low positioned, according to the GFS, somewhere in the vicinity of southern Georgia, and the European a little bit further, a little bigger difference here. And I think maybe the GFS is a little bit too slow on that. When we get to Wednesday, Burl's now back out. The reflection in the upper atmosphere, anyway, is back out into the Atlantic. And, of course, at the surface, we can see that off the South Carolina coast. Once again, this may be just a little slower than what the official Hurricane Center track is. In the meantime, we're seeing some scattered showers over our area. Now, we begin to see a nice trough coming through the central part of the United States on Thursday, and that nice trough could help to both bring us some rain, as you can see from the surface forecast map on the 31st, and bring us some lowered humidity and cooler temperatures, at least for a couple of days. And there's for Friday. The trough is moving across the Mississippi River, so that means we should be drying out on Friday with some lowered humidities. And that will certainly feel nice as the humidities at least get back into or dew points get back into the 50s, perhaps even the upper 40s. And then by Saturday, a week from today, the trough on the east coast of the United States, and we're in great shape. Now, unfortunately, that will be a short-lived situation for us because we'll cool down at least for a couple of days, but we warm up rather rapidly. And looking out into voodoo country, the GFS suggesting that the ridge comes back strong by the 9th of June, and so once again, heat is in the picture. Well, thanks for tuning in to the Weather Xtreme video. Expect to have the next one posted by 8 o'clock or so on Sunday morning. In the meantime, I hope your Memorial Day weekend gets off to a great start. Godspeed.
Being Alabama's news leader means digging deeper to get you the facts, working harder so you have all sides of the story, and not being afraid to tell the truth. Every day you award us by making ABC 3340 Alabama's most watched news. And now the Associated Press has named us Alabama's most outstanding news operation. That's 9 times since 1996, more than all other stations combined. And that's 9 more reasons you should trust the news leader. ABC 3340.